Peace, yo. This is Brother Hot Tim, and this is Folk Tales for Grown Folks. So we're gonna start off with the folk tales. So before we even read, let me go and share folk tales with those out there that may be watching now or may be watching later. So hopefully on your screen you'll be seeing a folk tale pop up. So it's called The Fisherman and the Little Fish. A fisherman who lived on the produce of his nets one day caught a single small fish. Hold on for 1 second, because we're doing the Townsend version, so I want to make sure you get this. You can see the same version. You go through the different versions yourself if you like. You know what I'm saying? Because there are many different interpretations, but hey, they all good. A fisherman who lived on the produce of his nets one day caught a single small fish as the result of his day's labor. The fish, panting convulsively, thus entreated for his life. "Oh, sir, what good can I be to you, and how little am I worth? I am not yet come to my full size. Pray spare my life. Put me back into the sea. I shall soon become a large fish, fit for the table of the rich, and then you can catch me again and make a handsome profit of me." The fisherman replied, "I should indeed be a very simple fellow if, for the chance of a greater uncertain profit, I were to forego my present certain gain." So if we look at what they got down here, small gain is worth more than a large promise. Now we're gonna bring this around. So I'm gonna go back to the hangout, and I'm gonna open up the lines because Miss Janelle is sitting here patiently waiting for me to get finished. And now, so do you want me to start, or you want to go on and jump into the folktale? Because this one is a powerful one. This is the first time I really ever opened it up to anybody else. But since you're here, you want to share something, or you want me to go first?
Go first.
All right. Let me make sure I don't have you on mute. Yeah, you on mute. Hold on. All right, so now they should be able to hear you. All right, so we got a fisherman, which, like I said, now when we look at these folk tales, the first thing you have to do is to get your lesson, identify who you are in the story. So now my question: are you the fisherman or are you the fish? You know what I'm saying? Because those are the two main characters in this story. So now most of us are the fishermen, right? And many of us, we go to the ocean of life. We go to the sea of life. We cast a hook. We catch a fish. The fish is small, skinny, and all this. This fish starts begging for his life and is asking us to return it back to the sea because one day it will be big enough to feed us. And it's asking us to depend on fate. It's asking us to depend on fortune. It's asking us to depend on his goodwill to give up his own life in the future if we were to let it go right now. And we all know that that's not really going to happen. For most individuals, that's not going to happen. And what it's teaching us is that a lot of times, many of us are giving in to wishful thinking rather than dealing with the reality of the moment. The little fish, although it is little, it still provides enough sustenance possibly for the fisherman to be able to come out tomorrow, possibly enough to maybe help him with his children. So what it's trying to teach us is sometimes what we have in our hand is a lot better than our wishes, the wishes that we have in our mind. A lot of us fall into this wishful thinking, this lucky thinking, this instant gratification thinking, and we fall short of our goal. You know what I'm saying? We fall short of life because we done threw back in the small gifts that God has given us. As a matter of fact, I think some of us get into miracle thinking where we honestly gonna believe the fish. Well, hey, and I know I'm guilty of that myself. where, yeah, I guess I could throw this a little bit in. I could throw this a little bit back. And now, for a lot of us, when we look at this, I want you to think about this. I want you to think about your finances. Your finances is the fish that you're pulling up. And a lot of us don't respect the amount of money I think that we're bringing in, so we just throw it away. You know what I'm saying? We're throwing it away on junk. We're throwing it away on garbage. We're throwing it away on madness a lot of times. And what I want you to start looking at is, can you work with what you have a little bit better? Then let's take it a little bit deeper. Let's look at some of the relationships we got. Some of us are throwing away good relationships in the hope of a bigger and fatter one to come later on down the pipe. You know what I'm saying? So these proverbs or these quotes, or these folk tales, man, like I said, they're crystallized wisdom. And if you look at them, they come to you right at the right time. Now, this story is a popular motif. Now, in other realms, because I rewrote a story called The Magic Fish, because the fish and the fisherman is a common thing. Because for a lot of people, there was only certain ways you could make a living. As a fisherman or as a farmer and a hunter at one point in time. Now, the fisherman was a major provider of food for the community. So there was always some magic connected with the fisherman, and a lot of times with the fisherman and his relation to the sea. We see this in several different tales throughout history, and one of them is the magic fish, where the fisherman actually catches a fish. The fish speaks to him, and he throws the fish back in, and blessings come back to the man, or in a sense, a curse, because you got to get the story to really check it out. But it's called The Magic Fish. You can check it out, and there's a play on this motif. But the bottom line, get to learning to deal with what you have, learning to manage what you have a little bit better, learning to manage those relationships, learning to manage the economic life of your personal life, learning how to manage the small little territory you got. Many of us, we want to run everything, but we haven't learned to control the small area in which we are in command. You know what I'm saying? Like being concerned about the 3-foot area around us. We'd rather throw that back in and hope that we are able to draw back in something bigger. But the only way it's going to get bigger is by us working with it. It's by us learning to perfect the small things in the sense that the Creator gave us. And I think that's another lesson that come out of here. Be thankful for the small blessings, because the small blessings lead up to something greater. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us don't practice that gratitude. Man, I mean, like I said, I can go on and on about these, man, because I love these folk tales, man. And I needed this one because, I mean, I'm at this point, those of you that might have heard my show a little bit earlier, I'm very upset about what happened in Texas, right? And I'm not upset about it in the same way that many of the people out there may be upset about it. I'm upset about it because it's overshadowing something else that's going on in our community that I feel is a lot more important than what happened in Texas. All right, Ms. Ross, come on. Ms. Dark, what is it? Say your name.
Miss Dark.
There goes squeaking, goddamn. Oh, Lord. Go, girl. You got anything? Go ahead.
I want you to finish your.
I'm done for a second. You know what I'm saying? I'm just breathing right now. Because, you know, like I said, I'm pissed. I'm just breathing right now.
What's going on in Texas?
Say again. Come on now.
I said I'm looking forward to hear what you have to say about it.
About what?
What happened?
But you don't listen to none of my shows. First off, I'm gonna say this. The police officer was a little bit too aggressive. But I am gonna say this. Working with young people, that girl was out of place. That girl should have walked her little ass across the street and been quiet. That whole issue has overshadowed the major piece that has been bothering me since I heard about it last week. And that's the issue with the young boy he's 20. He was they call him mentally delayed, that was shot in LA because he was wearing red shoes in the neighborhood. He went to the store. He was trying to get away. He got to his mother because his mother was at the car wash. He got to his mom and said, "Mom, let's go." A young man came up behind him, told him to remove his shoes. He said, "I'm not removing my shoes." The boy shot him in the back and then shot him 2 times in the chest while the boy laid on the ground. The boy's last words, because like I said, he was mentally delayed. The last words after his mom tried to catch the boy who shot him as the young man ran away, when she came back to her son, the last words on this boy's lips was, "Mommy, don't let me die." Now, we have a situation in Texas where we got an over-exuberant cop. And nobody was hurt. Go ahead.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't watch the video because I am in the midst of my.
You are. Go ahead.
And my protest with what's with me is that only.
Let me try to cut your phone down a little bit. Once again, we're missing out on your wisdom. You left the damn headphones. Come on.
You see where the 13-year-old, I forget what road or 50 murdered.
Oh, you talking about another murder too, right?
I'm talking about here.
Who, the little boy?
Oh, these girls.
Who?
These are girls. Somebody got win.
At the pool, are you talking about the pool party?
No. Yeah. Here in Columbus.
What happened in Columbus?
On 2nd Avenue.
At the what?
On 2nd, woman who lived on 2nd Avenue.
Do you got the mic close to your mouth, or do you got it away from your mouth? Because it's fading in now horribly.
Okay. Hold on. Turn that. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. You start and then it goes into whistling. So let's get that fixed. So either put it up against your ear and talk to me like you on the phone, because I know you can hear me.
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay. So who lived on 2nd Avenue? Returned home with her children, her daughters, and
it's horrible. I can't even hear you. So something happened on 2nd Avenue. Was somebody murdered? I gotta look this up.
Someone was murdered.
Somebody in our community by another black person.
Correct.
That's the shit that is bothering me. Okay. That is exactly my issue. You understand? See, because it's sort of like going back to the folk tale. It's like we are jumping past the small issues because we consider a black male killing another black male a small issue. We're jumping past the small issues and we're telling the whole world Black lives matter. It matters. But yet, every day, we have all young people running out here killing each other, man. And it's so frustrating to me. It is too frustrating to me. You know what I'm saying? Because this girls piece has overshadowed that you're talking about that happened in Columbus on 2nd Avenue that I ain't even heard about. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm getting my news from the internet, so I haven't even heard about that. So we're going to talk about this tomorrow. We're going to get this news piece, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this tomorrow on the piece because I might have to find a way to get you a mic. Second, no, I mean, I'm serious because we be missing out on your wisdom because of as soon as you start talking, I don't know whether you're moving it or whatever, we lose that. So I want this to be the last conversation we have about that. So I'm gonna have to find a way to get you something so that you can be heard. Second, this little girl piece in Texas, where she was thrown down, has overshadowed everything. You know what I'm saying? Huh?
I want to say something else about this. I want to say the piece with the girl bigger issue. One made community.
You said what?
Huh?
You see it went out.
Could you hear me?
No. I mean, I heard you say murder, then I heard you say opportunity.
Okay, I give up. What I said was our kids do not respect authority.
At all. And see, for a lot of people, that's not even the issue. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, it's like this dude went off. Yes, he was wrong for that. But nobody, well, I ain't gonna say nobody, but very few people are addressing the fact that this young lady was out of line. If she would have went across the street like he told her to, see, because for some reason our children think that there are old explanations for every goddamn thing, and they're able to debate with adults, and that is not the way it'll work. No. We are robbing our kids by allowing them to think that, even without racism. You know what I'm saying? We know that there's a racist climate, but even without racism, even without a racist climate, children do not question adults, especially when in a situation when you got, if you watch it from the start of the video to the end of the video, there's white boys running up and down the street. Up and down the street, chasing people, yelling at people, cussing at people. And if that was my daughter, she would be in trouble for not having sense to be on the opposite or the opposite side of the street away from this man. Because I want to make sure my children know that when you see a fool, you move to the other side of the street. You don't need, you know what I'm saying? Unless you are willing to accept the consequences. And it's for a great reason. See, this little girl was just running her mouth, and now, so now she might be elevated to a status of what's the lady that sit out on the bus?
You said what's the name of who?
What's the lady that sat out on the bus? Refused to get up. Rosa Parks. It's going to be a movement started around this little hard-headed little heifer. You see what I'm saying? No. You know what I'm saying? No. And then on top of that, You know what I'm saying? We got all these issues going on in our community. Because I'm looking up this piece about the second on Second Avenue. I got a double fatal shooting April 2nd. I'm still looking for the one that you're talking about today. Oh, here we go. In Columbus, Ohio. Because more than likely the people couldn't hear you, Brother Hatim is going to read it for everybody. I'm going to put it up so that people can see it. That's one of the beauties of this hangout. Other than we don't work on the reception, but I'm going to put it, I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to be kind enough to share my screen. Breaking news, Columbus. Let's go there. Boom. Present to everyone. And I'm going to go down to it. All right. So, Columbus says a 13-year-old girl is dead after shooting on East 2nd Avenue. A 15-year-old was injured. What?
Mm-hmm.
This is recent, too. Let me see. I mean, they don't got no more news about this. So we got murder. You know, Black Lives Matter. You know what I'm saying? Are these black children?
Those are children. Someone stood right and shot.
Oh, you got to be kidding me, man. Black Lives Matter, y'all. I mean, this the hypocrisy. This the hypocrisy we dealing with. Black Lives Matter. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, and this is the other piece that bothers me. The only time Black Lives Matter is when somebody else outside of our race is taking them. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I noticed that. That's what's bothering me.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting up here like, yo, man, this is stupid. So now you telling me I gotta, you know, even though we can hear you, listen, in Columbus, Ohio right now, there's a 13-year-old girl dead. One day after shooting at the UDF oh no, my God. There's another shooting. Oh wow. I mean, it's going down tonight, y'all. You know, y'all see it right there. So it's going down in Columbus. I don't know, maybe we trying to catch up with Chicago. I don't know what's going on. One day after shooting. Let's go to that link. No, I don't want that one. I want the one with the kids. 13-year-old girl. There we go. That's what I want. See original on Twitter. So y'all be able to go with us. But hey, don't tie this into. Can you tie this into the folks that we on? Because you know you ain't gonna just come in here and just take this whole thing. We're gonna just talk about murder. Huh?
So tie it into the folk tale.
Yeah, I mean, because these folk tales are not just for kids. There's lessons in them. Can you see how we are throwing back the small fish, hoping for a larger fish to come in our community?
Yes, I do.
You know what I'm saying? And I want everybody to understand that these folk tales are some of the key within these folk tales, within these quotes and these proverbs that our ancestors left us. Is the wisdom that we need to move to the next level of our development as a community, as an individual, as a families, as tribes, as communities, and as a nation. You know what I'm saying? Because when we look at our ancestors left us the framework. They left us the basic framework and the basic principles. And what we have is we have a lack of principles. We are not adhering to some of the ancient wisdoms, and we're not adjusting those ancient wisdoms to the day. So we got a 13-year-old girl killed. They wrote like this: 13-year-old girl killed, 15-year-old girl injured and shooting. And let's see what information we got now. Black Lives Matter. So I'm hoping that a mad police officer, you know what I'm saying, went off, right? Because other than that, I'm gonna be mad about this. Columbus police were searching for the person who shot two teenagers killing one of them Saturday night. It happened shortly before 11 p.m. at the home in the 400 block of East 2nd Avenue. Officers told 10 TV that the suspect stood outside side window of the home firing inside. A 13-year-old girl and a 15-year-old girl were hit by bullets. Witnesses told police that they saw at least one person running from the scene. Both teens were rushed to the hospital. The 13-year-old was pronounced dead at 11:42 p.m. The 15-year-old was in critical condition. Right now, police do not have a suspect description. This happened in the hood, y'all. Somebody peeked in the window, according to this, and shot. I mean, it's almost like they knew who they were shooting at. Wow. So we just can't escape the foolishness, y'all. Can't escape the foolishness. Maybe we don't want to. Maybe we like the drama in our neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we like it. And feel whole. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it makes us feel powerful. You know, I don't know what else. You know, I don't know what else to say. So bringing it back to this proverb, right? We got all these. Think about this. We got all these little fish that we're throwing back in. They go to school. We throw them back in because, hey, you know, his behaviors, you know, we're going to throw them back in. Maybe somebody else could get them and can work with them. You know what I'm saying? They go to some of these institutions and we throw them right back in. Our community is deceived. And we have these little fish that we think, you know what I'm saying? Maybe something else will come. We throw them back in. We're not taking them in. We're not making them part of our community by, in a sense, consuming them, not in a negative way, but allowing them to release their worth in our community. We're not allowing these children to share with the community their skills. We only have an avenue for them to do that. So we're throwing these fish back in, and these fish are terrorizing the rest of the neighborhood. We're not taking care of our small areas because we're not taking care of ourselves. We can't take care of our families because we're not taking care of our families. Guess what? We can't take the time to parent. So now we got a 13, a 15, and a 20-year-old in California. We got a 14-year-old acting a fool in Texas, getting in trouble and getting national media coverage. You know what I'm saying? We got this same thing happening all over the country. Why? Because people are not taking care of the small blessings that they have. These children are those little fish, man. In many ways, these children are little fish. You know what I'm saying? But instead of us taking them and consuming it and making out of them what we can, you know what we doing, Miss Janelle? You know what we doing? She done hung up. What we doing?
Throwing
them right back out there, right? And they swimming around with guns now. You know what I'm saying? They got fin guns. You know what I'm saying? And they killing. And what we do? We want to mark. Huh?
I said we're focused on.
We focus on the hope of a big fish in the water that we threw back, right? We hoping that they turn into LeBron James because we threw them back out there. We're hoping that they'll turn into the Oprahs, and we're hoping that they'll turn into the Sean Puffy Combs. You know what I'm saying? We're hoping that they'll turn into the Madam C.J. Walkers, and you know what I'm saying? You know, but you know, as they say, a bird in the hand is beats two in the bush. You know what I'm saying? Why not work with what we have? You know what I'm saying? These young people are causing havoc, and because individuals are not trying to control what they have, we're losing everything. See, this is why it pains me so much, man. And I tell people this all the time. I got into this work, what I do, as intensely as I do, because I had a nightmare one day that a young man that I refused to help ended up murdering murdering my son. Do you hear me?
I heard you.
So when I hear stuff like this, I can't help but to wonder, is this one of the kids that I failed to help? Especially one as close as Columbus. When it's Columbus, I can't help but to think, is this one of the ones that I failed to help? You know what I'm saying? And how close is that bullet to my youngest son? Because this was almost 20 years before my youngest son was. This actually was 20 years before my youngest son was born. You understand what I'm saying? So I've been working to save my son's life. Now I'm working to save my grandkids' lives. You understand what I'm saying? And but then I got stuff like Texas taking our attention.
Okay, and let me say this now. I mean, at some point, we have to pay attention to we have to get to the basics. And again, I didn't watch the video because I'm just fed up. I'm fed up with the images. I'm fed up with the story. I'm fed up with the cover up. I'm fed up with the fact that we're so consumed over these racist ideologies that these people hold that we've forgotten what's most important. We've forgotten that we have to start where we're at, and that's with teaching our kids. Now, what I noticed from my profession is that our kids do not respect authority
At all.
Problem. That's a problem. That is the biggest problem. So to hear your synopsis of the case in Texas, and for me to think about my last several years working with youth, we dropped the ball as parents that we don't require our kids to respect authority, not their elders, not their teachers, not their employers, not the
Wait a minute. You know who you sound like right now?
Who's that?
The Pants of Charlie Brown. You be dropping some knowledge and it be falling on. Man, come on, girl. We got to upgrade you. We throw that little fish back.
I'm not fooling with you. That's funny.
But hey, I feel you. Because you can see it, and going a little bit more with what you're saying, it's almost as if they are encouraged. My mama said, and realize this, in a lot of these incidents that you experience, how many fathers have you dealt with? If you have to give a percentage of if you dealt with 10 kids and their respect issues, out of that 10, how many fathers have you dealt with?
I'm going to say 40.
You say 40%?
Yeah, I'm going to say 40. Because that's not like more now. A lot of times I'm coming across single.
You said what?
Coming across.
You're not coming across single parents.
Single father. You're always
talking about. No, I wasn't even just talking about the single fathers or fathers just having custody. I'm talking about like even in some of the issues, how many of them are coming from unbroken home? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but the number you gave is close to the because it's about 70% of our kids are born out of wedlock. You know what I'm saying? And I was thinking more like 80 for me. You know what I'm saying? Because when in the majority of the meetings I have, I would say about 20%. Let me say 80% are mothers. I deal with maybe 20% of the fathers. You know, and I can't help but but to ask a question, because just because something is there does not mean that it is the cause. I can't help but to wonder what would happen to some of these situations if some of the fathers were a little bit more involved. You know what I'm saying? But that's speculation. That's just a question, though. You know what I'm saying? We have a definite male presence that's missing. And I think because it's missing in the way that it's missing, and on top of that, the male image is under direct attack. You know what I'm saying? Because now the genders are being cross-fertilized, let us say. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
but then, go ahead.
You know the latest, if you notice, and videos, humanized men and watching.
She dropping wisdom, y'all, and we came in here.
I give up.
Lord have mercy. Just dropping it. You dropping it. I can hear little bits and pieces of it, man. That's some good stuff. And, but it might not be you. You know what I'm saying? It could be a conspiracy. FBI could be blocking our stuff out. You know what I'm saying? So who knows? You laughing.
I believe it.
I'm very serious. But hey, check this out. We're going to work on your mic for tomorrow. This is Brother Hatim. This is Folk Tales for Grown Folks. I'd like to thank you for joining us. We kind of got off, but that's what it's for. I like the discussion. I'd like to thank Ms. Dark and So Lovely. Is that it?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to thank Ms. Dark and So Lovely for joining me. Those of you out there, support the journey. Maybe we can give her a quality mic. You know what I'm saying? Just a donation or two. Buy a book or something. I'll take some, put somebody on the mic, put the other on somebody going to Simba or Simpson. All right? But, hey, support the journey. And with that, Brother Kim and Miss O, so I mean, why you can't just get a simple Dark and So Lovely? Miss Dark and So Lovely is out. You got some final words?
No, because you won't be able to hear me.
I mean, but still, people might be thrown back to the era of Charlie Brown. Go ahead, go and talk to him a little bit. So that's kind of that's kind of epic how you could just able to just fall back into wah 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 wah.
Let's get back to the take the village.
See, y'all heard it? Wah, 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 wah. She said something about taking the village and then went out. But yo, this Mr. Brown, this Brother Hatim, and I'm out. Look at that. Gave up my secret identity. Peace.
Peace.